All right. Welcome back to the White Boys Official Podcast for episode dos. We've got myself, Dalton. Neil is back.
Nearly.
We got new guest Grant.
What's up, guys?
And we got my girlfriend Kinsey.
Hello.
Mackenzie.
And you heard her in the last podcast.
She called at the end of the last podcast, yes. But irrelevant. But today we're starting off our podcast with a little bit of ghost stories. And Kinsey's going to start us off with her friend named Toby.
Putting her on the spot.
I don't even know if you can call him a ghost. I don't know what he is.
Well, exactly. So
spirit or something. He's something.
Spirit, imagination. I mean, it's kind of like a ghost. So we're gonna go with it because of what happened yesterday when you interrupted the podcast. Not interrupted, but.
I don't think that was paranormal related anyways.
Well, I don't think so either, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, go ahead. Start us off.
Just to get right into it, I guess when I was younger, I had this thing. His name was Toby. And he used to just terrify me. He would terrorize me every chance he got. He looked just like a little boy. He wore a red baseball cap, a yellow shirt, and jean shorts. And what's
the
it
jorts? The jorts kill me.
The jorts.
Like, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just picture like the most hipster kid.
Me too. Like the hat. The hat was got a bulldog on it and it's sideways, and then a yellow McDonald's shirt, and some fucking jorts and
McDonald's?
some Jordans.
Jorts are the
Well,
way to
yeah,
go,
I mean,
man.
if you're wearing a yellow shirt, McDonald's is yellow.
A lot of things are yellow. Anyway, sorry.
You're yellow. Anyways.
The terrorizing got so bad that my parents wanted to put me in therapy. I was like 6 or 7. I could never be by myself. I couldn't shower by myself unless one of my parents was in the bathroom. I don't know. I mean, he was around for a while and he aged with me. Once I got older, he got older too. But whenever I think about him now, I still just see a little boy in my head. So, I don't know.
But he doesn't terrorize you anymore, right?
I don't know how to answer
Oh, man.
That's not
that. I
good.
don't know how to answer that, really.
You should go into a mental asylum. I'm just kidding.
That's just
It's not fun.
the crazy part to me is that he aged with you. Like that's
pretty weird.
pretty creepy.
So he is also now 21?
I mean, I would assume
If-
so. I don't see him anymore. So.
Were y'all like this, like the same age pretty much the whole
Mhm.
time then?
Yeah.
Yeah, she said as she grew, he grew.
I know. I just didn't know if they were the same age though. Like he could have been like a year older or a year younger. You know? That's all I'm saying.
I mean, if you want to get that technical, I guess.
I'm looking for details.
Always looking for
Especially with
details.
scary stuff. That stuff's. I mean, it ain't necessarily scary talking about it, I guess, but if that would have happened to me, I would have been fucked up for life.
Well, have you guys ever heard? Do you guys know about like the stereotypes with girls and like bruises all over their legs all the time, and they never know where they come from?
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
heard of that.
Well,
People we know.
in the paranormal world, they say that demons and like negative spirits are more attached to females, and they will bug them and just mess with them in their sleep, and that's why they'll wake up with bruises that they don't know, like they don't know where they came from. I wake up with bruises all the freaking time. Sleep paralysis used to happen on the norm. I mean, I can't say that it was Toby.
Sleep paralysis is a whole different topic.
Yeah, that
we're
freaks
gonna
We
me
need to
into.
get into that.
We're gonna get into that. Trust me, because I've had it firsthand. And
I don't believe
crazy.
it's even a. I feel like scientists just try to make it a scientific.
I didn't believe it at first until it happened to me, and I saw the evidence.
I
of it.
think it's something more
Demonic?
than scientific.
Anyways, we'll push that back for now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We'll get into that here in a minute.
It's just bizarre to me that I don't know what you'd call it, a spirit or whatever would grow with you in age. That's just
That's kind of crazy.
because most like you think of a ghost or something like it, you see it at any time. It's the same thing no matter what. You know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't.
Well, we
even
also
imagine.
don't know if this was a ghost or not.
Or a ghost or a spirit, whatever you want to call them. They're all the same thing to me, pretty much.
Well, I mean, ghosts aren't real. Spirits are.
Well, mediums.
If you want to get technical.
Mediums and people like that who claim that they can see ghosts, I guess they kind of see the spirit as they would look when they died. But demons and like negative, if you watch any paranormal shows, they will tell you that demons can take any shape or form of anything. they can transform, but like regular spirits
Yeah.
and ghosts,
Yeah.
they can't.
And
Josh's grandmother, she was kind of like a medium herself, and
Well, and who is Josh for people who don't know?
Josh is or was my brother-in-law, or soon-to-be brother-in-law.
Yeah, we talked about him
Yeah,
last episode a little bit.
yeah. I didn't explain him though. He passed 2 years ago, and his grandmother was kind of like a medium in herself, and she was a very spiritual person. And one day, Summer went over to her house. Summer being my sister, went over to her house, and she told Summer, she was like, "I'm not gonna live much longer." Then a couple weeks later, she actually died. So she knew that something was coming, and that she was gonna die.
That's scary.
And she warned Summer about it. And then 2 weeks later, I get a call. She's dead. That's crazy to me.
But do you think it's something related to spirits or anything, or?
Oh yeah.
Because you think about old people, especially like a lot of them. Like my grandma says it all the time. I ain't gonna be here next year. I ain't gonna be here in the next few months. I'm like, well, why would you even say that?
Yeah.
You know,
But she's still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
still kicking.
Knock on wood.
It's just, and especially like when you see like older couples once they lose their wife or husband after being with them for 50 plus years or whatever, however long, they always like end up breaking down, and you start seeing their health decline real quick and stuff like that.
Well, it's gonna be a real testament to see how the Queen takes
Prince Philip.
Prince Philip's death.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because what is that? That was marriage for how long was it?
They
Probably.
got married in their early 20s, I think.
Yeah, so it's like
And she's 185.
70 something years.
Yeah, 185 years old.
185.
I think she was ruling back in the Civil War.
He's been there
Okay.
for a while.
1800s.
I don't know. I mean, it's all interesting for sure. I don't know. To me, like, I don't know. This stuff is too hard to even think about. Like, to me, like, ghosts and demons are all like,
Well, do you have any ghost stories?
not.
I mean, it can be one with me or us or
The
whatever.
only
but-
ones I have is when we first moved here,
Okay.
and it was like our second week in the house, I think. And we was all playing hide and seek. It's a new house, so there's no furniture hardly. You just got the basic stuff you need in the house. So
Yeah.
Were
Get
you
the house
telling me about this out back by the fire one night?
I think it was playing hide and seek, and I thought I seen, I want to say Grant or Dane. Dane being my little brother. We was all playing, and I think it was my sister. Yeah, she was wearing a white shirt, and so I just knew I was looking for her. And we was all counting. I was counting in the living room. I'd say count to 60, whatever. And they all take off. So I'm looking around, searching for them. And keep in mind, it's we only have a few lights on. It's late at night. And I swear on everything, I seen her run up the steps into our little attic extra bedroom up there. I don't know what you call that, but
Bonus room.
Bonus room. Yeah.
And at the time, we had no drywall up in it. It was open studs around the whole top part of that, and it's like just you're underneath the roof at that point once you
Yeah.
go past some studs. So I seen her run up there, and I go up there, turn on the light, which is it's odd to me that the light was off. I was like, there's no way in hell I would hide up here alone. You know, it's a new house, and she's not in there. So I'm like, okay. I'm over here shining my
So
little.
you saw her run up there.
I seen a white.
You seen something run up there, which you thought was her.
Yes.
You ran up there after her, quotations, and you looked for her and nobody was there.
No one was there. It's just crazy. And then so I went downstairs after that, and she was down there. Went out hiding down there. So it was just like, how'd you get down here? I was telling her, I was like, there's no way you're not up there. But I was like, whatever.
Mm.
Funnily enough, another time we were playing hide and seek in the basement, and we saw a little boy down there in striped shirt run
Yes.
through
I
the
remember
studs in the basement.
I remember that.
There was a lot of us down there. We all saw him. We thought it was one of our little brothers, Dane,
Yeah, we thought.
and it just disappeared once it went through the studs.
I remember that.
Very weird.
And I think we all seen that too. Everyone that was down there in that, like,
Yeah.
it's literally like we thought it was him. Like, it was just running. Like,
Yeah, there's probably
arm
about
swinging, everything.
5 of us down there that saw it. So it wasn't just like a out of the corner of your eye thing. We saw that kid, in quotations,
I remember I was living in this downstairs outside of this room, and Wesley and Kelsey lived in this room at the time, my two sisters, and I was down there, and all I remember was seeing the light turn on, and then I just saw footsteps go from that side into the laundry room over there.
You could hear them?
No, I saw the shadows of them.
Wow.
And nobody was in this room. And the light stayed on. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I've got so many ghost stories in this house, it's not even funny.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
think-
good.
The only other one I can think of off the top, well, there's two, but one's more of a, almost more demonic than anything, I guess. Not really ghosts. I didn't see anything.
Wrong, fake news. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
And this other one isn't either. But we was living in Kentucky at the time, and we lived on like a huge farm, like probably 400 acres. The house that we lived in was down the driveway, a long gravel driveway. And my grandma and one of her sons that she lived with stayed on a trailer up at the top of the hill. So one night, our parents were out shopping or something, and we was all doing our chores for the night. So I had laundry this time of night, this night, and I had to walk up the hill because our washing machine was not working. So I had to walk all the way up to my grandma's trailer just to put our clothes in the washer. I think I brought Grant with me.
And Dane or Davin, one of them.
Yeah, I brought
One of our
brother,
brothers.
too. So as we're walking up the hill, the light, there's nothing on in the trailer at her house or uncle's house. Then all of a sudden we get halfway up the driveway and I see the living room light of that trailer turn on. And I tell you, boy, I almost left my brothers, and I almost dropped the basket. I may have, I don't know.
Yeah, we took off running back.
I was like, y'all run back, because I knew there was no one up there.
Yeah, our grandma and our uncle were not at home at the time, so there should have been nobody up there at the trailer.
And they're half the time they're down at our house visiting or whatever. So I tell my brother, and he gets Chris. He's older than me.
He's the oldest one.
Yeah, he's always the badass too, though. So he's out here with just a Bowie knife, like, all right, y'all stay here. He's like 15 at the time. Like, y'all stay down here. I'm gonna run up here and check it out. And he ran up there and he said he didn't see nothing. Said the light wasn't on. It's like, well, I don't know. I seen that light on.
Yeah, we saw it turn on.
That's
we didn't know
crazy.
though. We didn't at the time. We didn't know. We didn't think it was ghosts or something. We thought maybe somebody was in the trailer, or we didn't really know what was happening.
But none of the cars were there, like,
Yeah.
So it's really odd.
And it was pretty late at night. It wasn't, so we could tell that the light turned on. It was like about sundown.
Do you have any ghost stories?
Not really, no.
Why don't we get into sleep paralysis? Because that's kind of.
Well, hang on, I
That's
got
very
some
interesting to me.
stories I got. So, there was one time when we first moved into this house, and me and Dakota, my brother, were sharing a room upstairs. And Dakota always terrorized me in any way he possibly could. But Dakota was also young. And one night, I was on the top bunk, he's on the bottom bunk. The door was wide open. My mom came and checked on us because we had school the next day or whatever. And she left, and about 10 minutes later, the door was still open. And the whole light was on. The next thing I know, the door slams shut. Like, it slams so fast. And I knew it wasn't Dakota because nothing ever moved on the bottom of the bed, and I would have felt it. Especially if he put that much force into trying to close this door. Like, it was hard. And that door just slammed shut. And my mom never heard it. And one time we're all sitting at the fire back there. It's me. It was you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Zach. And were you there?
I don't think I was. Because you guys told me about that one night. I tried to stay out there with you and Zach.
I think Chris was there too. No, he might have been. I couldn't really tell you who all was there, but I know it was me, Neil, and Zach. And we're just sitting by the fire out back, and next thing we hear is sounds like horses are riding through the backyard into the trees with
Oh yeah.
Indian noises and chains just rattling on the ground. I mean, it was so loud. It was like you saw just a pack of horses running wild through the
It's really weird. It just sounded like horse
through the
feet
woods.
going through the dirt.
But there was nothing there, and it was right in front of us, or right beside us.
I
mean,
didn't
it
hear
was
so much of
insane.
the Indian noise. I just heard the chain. It sounded like chains. Right?
I heard
Like
I heard the
dragging or
chains, and then I
something.
heard a little bit of Indian noises.
Yeah, it was really weird.
It's fucking strange. And one time, this was after my grandpa, my dad's dad, had passed away. This is in like 9th grade, so it was like 13 years ago. Right? Am I right about that? No. Like 9
Ninth
years
grade?
ago.
We just
6th
got-
grade.
You're
Sorry.
like
6th
12.
grade. Not 9th grade, 6th grade.
Yeah, probably about 10 years ago.
10 years ago. And my dad's out by the pool. He's messing with something on the ground. And he feels 2 taps on his right shoulder. And he just disregarded it at first. And turned around, nobody was there. And then he felt 2 more taps on that shoulder. Then 2 more taps on his lower back. And that's when it freaked him out. And he ran all the way up to my room. And he was like, "You're the only one I know that was awake." And some creepy shit just happened to me.
And
That-
how old were you at the time? You were in 6th grade, you said?
I was in 6th grade.
So that's got to be pretty
Or
freaky.
It was 6th or 7th grade.
And your dad's coming up telling you something
Yeah.
creepy happened to him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because he
I-
knew I was still awake. And one time he was in his building, and he heard somebody say hello, which is exactly how his dad used to say hello whenever he'd pick up the phone or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly how his dad used to say it. And he walked out there. I mean, it was right out of his building, and he expected to see somebody there, and nobody was there.
I just know if my dad ever came into my room telling me he just had something creepy happen to him, that would freak me out.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think my dad ever said anything even close to.
No, the only thing he's ever told me that he said that he's really scared about is when he was a kid. He was sitting in his bed, and he said he looked up, and in the corner of his room, he saw what he swears is a demon that was just sitting in the corner of his room looking at him.
Oh my god!
It had like glowing eyes, and
That's funny you bring that up because I don't know if Zach, my brother, he also said the same thing when he was younger. I don't know if he ever told Dad or anyone. He told me and Chris because we all slept together.
is that the he said he saw
was in
something
South
walk
Carolina.
up to his bed though, didn't he? That one time, he said
I
he saw
can't
something.
remember.
He said it
I
had.
think he said he seen him like it looked like a dark angel, like looked like he had wings, but like a dark one, like one that he knew. Like I don't know if you ever seen a ghost. You get that feeling where you're like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's something comes over you.
That
Fight or
instant
flight.
dread,
So good.
that
Fight or
instant
flight.
dread when like something happens and you're like,
Can't speak.
yeah, like I don't want to see that. And a lot of people say when you see something like that, like a demon or something, they'll say it almost looks darker than like dark. It,
yeah.
It just looks like so like
There's so
pitch
such
black,
an
like
absence
the-
of light.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that kind of
Well, I
stands
could go
out.
on with ghost stories. Like I've heard stuff go up and down the stairs, lights turn on, noises being heard. I mean, I could go on and on. But I'll get into my sleep paralysis story. So this is probably like the first or second time I've ever had sleep paralysis. And the way my bed is set up is it's set up on the back wall and it's looking straight at my bathroom. And I always leave my bathroom door open. Well, one night I fell asleep and I woke up, but I couldn't move, and all I could see, and my eyes were just lined up with the bathroom door, like just perfectly, and that's all I could do was look at the bathroom door. And next thing I know, I just hear this insanely loud noise, and I tried to blink my eyes and I couldn't, but I just heard this insanely loud noise, and then I see a huge black hand reach out of the door, or not out of the, about midway of the door, around the trim, and it had 3 fingers, and it had long nails that were drooping down, that were so long, and it reached out and it clawed the TV stand that I had at the time. And then that's the last thing I remember seeing. And then I guess I either went back to sleep or I don't know, but I or blacked out or something. Then I woke up and it was daylight the next morning. And I remember what happened. I thought it was a dream. And out of my curiosity, I was like, I wonder if that actually happened. And I took a flashlight to my desk and I saw 3 claw marks in it.
And what was it? Wood? Like a wood?
Yeah, it was
stand?
wood. It was a hard wood, so it wasn't like very noticeable. But if you took a flashlight to it, you could see it.
You'd see
You
like
see it
the
clear as
light
day.
reflecting off.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've heard people say when they're having sleep paralysis and stuff and they can't break it. I've heard them say like if you focus on something small like just moving like a finger on your hand and you get to be able to move it, they said it like that can sometimes break it. Where
Well,
you can
I was
kinda
trying
take
to I was
control
trying to
again.
wiggle my toes because I was like ready to kick, like I was just trying to kick
Yeah.
at something, at whatever it was, because
Can
I
you-
was scared out of my mind. And I was trying to wiggle my toes and I couldn't.
Can you not blink or nothing? Can you blink
I
I-
could blink.
I don't.
or close your eyes or
I could.
It's
my
very
body.
slow for me.
can you sniff or anything? I mean, I'm sure you ain't sniffing when you're scared, but
I mean, you're breathing. All you're doing is breathing. And my eyes are they're just blinking really slow whenever they do. Like it's just super slow. It's not just a quick blink and then
Sleep paralysis is one of those things for me that I've always thought was like one of the scariest things because if that ever happened to me, I don't know, that would just mess me up because
I've gotten to the point to where when I'm starting to fall asleep, I can feel if I'm gonna go into sleep paralysis because it's a weird thing that happens with my body. Everything starts tingling and everything starts getting loud again. Not like noise is loud, but like you've heard quietness, right? Like you've sat in just a quiet room and everything just gets super loud, right?
yeah, so it's kind of like you just hear your ears ringing
Yeah.
real loud.
Yeah, and that's all I hear, and it keeps getting louder and louder, and I feel like I'm going numb, and then I'll do my best to wake back up, and I'll occupy myself for another 5 minutes, then I'll try to go back to sleep.
So that's when you're trying to go to bed, or is it like kind of like between falling asleep, or
It's
is it
not-
like when you first lay down?
Well, it's when I'm trying to fall asleep, because when I first lay down, I don't immediately
Yeah.
go to sleep. So, it's a very weird thing, and I've gotten to where I can sense it now.
That's one thing, just not being able to do anything for yourself, like not being able to help yourself or
It's a very
So
scary thing.
that's
worst
something.
feeling in the world.
It's
Yeah.
a very scary thing when you open your eyes and you cannot move.
yeah.
And next thing you know, you see a fucking dark hand reach out and claw something.
And how old were you when that happened?
This was only a couple of years ago.
And you're 21 now.
I'm 21. I was probably like 18.
Yeah. At least you weren't like super little, because that would.
When I was super little, I had insane night terrors. Like, they were awful. I mean, awful. Like, I'd be fully awake and I'd still think, like, these giant spiders are trying to eat my fucking face. Like, seriously. I remember walking, or I ran downstairs and into the kitchen and then into the living room, and I was like, the fucking aliens are following me. I didn't say the F word, but I was like, the aliens are behind me. You need
Yeah.
to save me. I think it was either Summer, it was Kelsey. Kelsey was sitting out there. I was like, the aliens are about to kill me. And she was like,
And that was when
"What?"
you were little, like at
are
night
you
after you
talking
woke
about?
up.
Yeah. This is right after I just went to bed, and all my siblings are obviously older, so they can stay out and watch TV past 9 o'clock or whatever. And I ran down. I mean, I've had so many night terrors, it's not even funny. My mom and dad have had to hold me down one time because I was screaming bloody murder.
I've never had night terrors.
Like, they were bad.
I've had just like normal nightmares like any other kid, but I've never gotten anything real bad or sleep paralysis or nothing like that.
Mackenzie, you got sleep paralysis
Hmm.
stories? Kind of
Um,
want to hear it. They're interesting.
It's happened a couple times, but the most significant one was one morning I woke up. It was probably like, it was back when I was a teenager, so I would stay up late at night and sleep in real late in the morning. It was probably around 9:30 in the morning. I woke up, and I had my bed shoved in a corner of my room. So I was facing the wall, so the rest of my room was behind my back. I woke up and I was kind of laying more so on my stomach, but I was on my side. And I could not move. I could not move. The only thing I could move was my eyes, and I was just breathing normally. And I started getting really hot. Just like I got this like heat wave over me, and I knew something was wrong. Anyway, I was just laying there, and I could feel and see something sitting on the edge of my bed. Like the bed was moving downward to conform to someone's body weight. And then it laid down next to me. And the thing about sleep paralysis is you can breathe, but you can't like gasp and you can't like do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So all you can do is just sit there and like watch it happen. And then it was just laying there. And the bed kind of like, I don't know, it felt like whatever was sitting there was rolling closer to me, and I was just watching it all happen. And then you could see it sit up, and then it got off the bed, and then I guess I just went back to sleep. Nothing really happened after that.
You remember what it looked like?
Well, no, I couldn't like see what was laying on the bed. I could just see the bed.
Like, yeah,
You
dipping
could-
down.
Yeah.
Feel it moving and stuff.
Yeah.
You could see the indents of it.
Yeah.
Indentions or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
was-
almost scary as heck, though.
Does it feel like you have like pressure like on you, like you can't breathe or anything
well, yeah,
like that?
I mean, not being able to move when you want to move is like, especially if you have like claustrophobia. If you're like a really claustrophobic person, it's terrifying.
And
And
she
I-
knows all about that.
I was a quadriplegic once, so it just having sleep paralysis and actually knowing what it's like medically, not being able to move, and having sleep paralysis, it was just like twice as terrifying. It was awful.
Sounds awful.
Yeah.
But can you get sleep paralysis without falling asleep?
I don't know.
If you're just laying there, or if you're tired enough, maybe?
I mean, I don't think so.
The only stories I've ever read involve actually sleeping and then waking up to sleep paralysis.
Because I know one night in my living room, for whatever reason, I decided to sleep. I'm like 19 at the time. I'm sleeping in the living room tonight. I don't know why. I just
You used to always sleep in the living room.
Well, it's just if I got tired enough, I'd just pass out there. So I pitched the blanket down, whatever. And the whole night, it was fine. Till it hit about, I want to say like 12 o'clock. I mean, my parents stay up late, like 11 before they go to bed most nights.
Your mom definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's always a little one. At this time, my second littlest brother, Luke, was still a baby. He was still maybe 1. So,
When
yeah.
you were 19?
Who was it?
Isn't Luke
That's been
5?
2 years, so I guess it would have been 3. You would have probably been.
Yeah,
younger
I
then.
was a lot younger than, huh?
Yeah, you probably been 16.
Probably 16, 15, 16 then. But anyways, she was rocking him. She came out rocking him, and the whole night I could not sleep. I just had a feeling, like kind of like how you describe a heat wave.
Mhm.
It just feels like there's pressure on your face, or like you feel red, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like you need water.
Well, I didn't feel like I needed water. I was too scared to even. Like, I'm a grown kid pretty much at this point, and I won't even take my face out the blanket.
Oh, yeah, no.
I'm scared to death, and it don't feel like anything you can overpower or something. It just feels like all you can do is maybe pray and hope that it goes away. But then my mom eventually comes out rocking the kid, and I'm telling her, I'm like, I cannot sleep tonight. It feels weird in here. Like, it just feels like there's something watching me from this, like the corner in the ceiling, just looking down at me or something.
I remember that. I don't think it was that long ago.
It wasn't too
It's-
long ago, but one of the kids was a baby, unless he was still
But
just
I know you.
awake that night or something. I don't know.
I think Luke was having. I think
He was young enough to still be rocked to bed and stuff. So he may have been 2 at the oldest. I'll give him that. But
I remember this.
But he did sleep in mom's room for a while, though.
yeah,
Even after, because he was the youngest, and I guess there wasn't a baby at the time after him. Normally there was like a baby right after.
Yeah.
The other.
But she was just like, yeah, I don't know, I can't sleep either. He's keeping me up. But come to know that next morning, and I always hear about sleep paralysis and people feel like they got pressure on their chest, they can't do anything. But she told me that she went back to her room like after I had said that. Maybe an hour or two later, still the baby kept up and on. Baby finally went to bed. She said she felt like she couldn't move or anything. She couldn't gasp.
Yeah,
And she
I
felt like there
remember
was
that.
something just sitting on her chest.
Yeah.
So like it felt like, I mean, she don't know what an elephant feels like, but she said it just feels like it was crazy heavy, like crushing her, but not crushing her.
I think
She said she couldn't do anything. She tried screaming. She tried doing everything she could in her power. She said, and she didn't go to sleep beforehand, or maybe she did. I'm pretty sure she did not go to sleep.
well, she could have been so tired just
Well,
rocking the baby and stuff all night that she
Yeah.
could have just.
I don't
fell
know
asleep.
the scientific facts behind sleep paralysis, or what kind of research they've done behind it, or what kind of state you have to be in to enter that state. I don't know.
I think it's REM during your REM phase of
Yeah,
sleep.
I mean you're not too far gone. But
I think REM though is a part of the memory phase of your brain. Like that's the memory phase of your sleep, like where it filters out throughout the day what you're going to remember, what's not important. Like you think about it, we don't remember every blade of grass we see a day, or there's just a lot of stuff you don't
You
Yeah.
think where'd I put
you don't
this
store
item
in
at?
your
Yeah.
brain. It's just really weird because my mom's never really got scared or anything, and she didn't even tell me that. It wasn't even the next day that she told me that. It was like a few months later. Cause I was like, I don't know whatever happened. I'll just end up bringing that story back up. She's
Yeah, I
like,
think
yeah,
it
that was
was-
a really weird night.
I think it was that night that you also came in my room because I was fast asleep, but you went up there and you woke me up and you said, "Grant, like, are
Yeah.
you able to sleep and stuff?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm sleeping fine." And then because I remember you were really scared and you're like, "Can you just stay up with me?"
Yeah, I was.
And that kind of freaked
If
me
you've
out
never
because he
felt
was
that
really.
freaked out, like I was,
oh
I would
yeah,
not
no.
take my face out of that blanket. I've never been so scared in my life.
And you don't want to move.
That's what I remember.
No.
Because he was like, I've never seen Neil like that because he was like old enough and everything, and I was younger than him, and he came like snuggling up beside me on the bed, and he's like, "Grant, can you just please stay up with me?" And that's when I started getting freaked out, like something. But I ended up falling back asleep, and I remember you woke me up once or twice.
Yeah, I was like, dude,
Just
you
asking.
gotta stay up.
Yeah,
I was scared.
I think
I
we
was ready
ended
to
up
just
watching
stay
YouTube
up. I didn't want to be alone anywhere in that house.
because I remember I think Mom the next day came through blessing all the rooms in the house and everything.
Yeah, because she said she couldn't do nothing until she started praying, and then finally she could move again. That's the only thing that she could do.
I
She
remember.
said she was like screaming too, trying to pray or do anything.
Sheesh. I remember in middle school, I'd be the first one to come home with nobody else there, and I was there for about an hour until my other siblings got home because they were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was in elementary school. I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I'd come home off the bus, and I'd be the only one home, and then it would be like another hour and a half, 2 hours before they got home.
Yeah, because here in Georgia, elementary school comes home an hour before middle and high schoolers do
Yeah.
in the day.
And I remember getting home, and I was by myself, and I knew it. And I was in the living room, and I just put on a movie because I was like, I don't really know what to do, so I just put on a movie. Basically every time I came home. And one time, we had a German Shepherd and a miniature Schnauzer at the time, and they both stayed with me in the living room. And I just heard something race up the steps, down the steps, and then back up the steps. And I immediately looked for the dogs, which were sitting right around the table, and Jake, which is my German Shepherd, it even startled him because he knew nobody else was there either. And he was like, "The hell was that?" And I remember taking the dogs. I went outside and I called my mom. And I was like, "There's some freaky crap going on right now. And I don't know what to do because I'm scared out of my mind and I'm not going back inside the house." That's about all I remember from that. But it scared the ever-living crap out of me. And I did not go back in that house until somebody else got there.
There's one thing when it was me and my younger brother Davin. We were here with Dalton, and I guess we were going swimming, and we went inside, and we went into his upstairs because we were messing around. We saw a puppet up there,
I remember this one.
and then we went back down the steps, and me and Davin were at the bottom of the steps. Dalton was upstairs, and we come around the corner looking at the top of the steps, and that puppet's sitting on the top of the steps. And Dalton comes out the door and he kicks that puppet down the stairs right at me and Davin. And we about ran out the house.
That
That was
puppet
funny.
terrorized me as a
Yeah,
child.
it was a freaky looking puppet.
Yeah, it terrorized me as a child. That's how they got me to obey, or they got me to do all the stuff that I was supposed to do.
Or the puppet's gonna get you?
Yeah. Like, we're going to get out the puppet if you don't do it. Or they called him a name, but I don't remember.
My dad used to chase us kids around with a terrorist Halloween mask on,
Oh, man.
screaming at us in like a deep voice.
That's scary.
I seen that mask, and it's not the prettiest.
It's super creepy.
It'd freak me the hell out if my dad was running at me with that thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that to my kids, don't think.
I most definitely would do that to my kids.
Well, yeah, you would.
I would most definitely. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I won't. I would terrorize the shit out of them.
Don't let Dalton have kids.
Nope.
But I guess I haven't had really anything really, really scary happen. Just a couple, well, what I would think was ghosts that I've seen. But other than that, nothing really.
I've never been touched or nothing ever came and sat on my bed. I've seen a ghost walk by me when I was upstairs trying to go to the bathroom. It was like 3 in the morning, and I opened my door and I just seen this full person in white just walk right by me and straight through the back wall, back outside. I mean, it was crazy.
And I
Oh my gosh, at Chestnut Elementary School.
Oh, that. You know, they always said that a ghost of a janitor haunted one of the bathrooms.
That's exactly what I'm about to tell you. So we were in the cafeteria. This was during YMCA hours, so we were all in the cafeteria.
And that was just after school.
Yeah, waiting to be picked up and doing our stuff. And one of the YMCA teachers was looking through the there's a door that connects the library and the lunchroom. They were looking through that glass door. You know how all school doors are. You got that rectangle on one side.
Yeah, to look through or whatever.
Yeah. And she was looking through that, and she seen a book come off of the case, or the shelf, open, close, and drop straight to the ground. And then everybody else started running up, and I was one of the first ones there, and I was looking through, and I saw this entire man in white, and he had a fucking mop with him, and he was mopping the floor. And I
In
looked
the
over,
library?
Oh, man.
and I saw the book sitting on the ground, and it came up and it went back onto the shelf.
Mm-mm.
That's crazy.
What is it with spirits and wearing white?
I don't know.
That's just... I feel like that's
I mean,
so stereotypical of a ghost, too. Like, everyone thinks they're just in white, but...
Because you said the one in your house was wearing
Both
white.
of them, and the boy, like, it was like a striped shirt. Like, you can see the color, but it's like they're illuminated in white. I
Yeah.
guess.
Oh, yeah.
And that's such
I
a
guess white's a heavenly color.
well, that's such a weird thing
Not
because
heavenly. I don't think ghosts are from heaven. I mean, I feel like some of them might...
Well,
be able
if
to
you see a
visit,
ghost and
but-
they're stuck in between the...
well, it's probably like
They're
a
in
spirit,
limbo,
not really.
kinda.
Because when people say there's something demonic, it's always
I
like
think a
dark.
ghost is a spirit. I think
Yeah.
everything's a spirit. And I don't think... I feel like there's some good spirits, but I feel like they're all, like, angels, you know, kind of, or something. I don't think there's... I don't know.
demons and
It's too big of a...
I think it's
big
people that
assumption.
haven't accepted the fact that they're dead and won't pass on to the heaven
but
life.
do you really have like a
You
choice
don't-
in that?
you
Then?
can't, you
I don't
can't
know.
accept if you're dead or
When
not.
nobody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one knows.
I mean, from what I've heard from mediums is you got to give these spirits closure so they can then move on to the next part or next stage of their afterlife or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, like, you always hear about people seeing their like, after they pass. Like, say you lost a son or something. Like, sometimes they'll see them. Like, it's like they visit them and tell them, yeah, I'm good. Then you never see them again, but it's like they come down to tell you that they're all right. Or something.
Yeah, but that could also. I mean, I'm
But
not.
there's a
saying
lot
that
of cases like that where
and
people
there's a-
swear that.
But
their
some of
loved
that
one,
could be
you
part
know.
of like the grieving process
Oh yeah.
of somebody. I'm not saying
Trying to
that-
cope with it. And then,
Yeah, that doesn't discredit everybody. I'm sure some people like think that they've actually seen these things.
It's
or-
just weird. Like, I just want to know, like, once you get to heaven or that stage between heaven and hell, or, there's got to be some type of judgment, I guess any religious person would say that, kind of a judgment, or, you get to go to heaven or whatever. But
Yeah. And I'm just gonna throw this disclaimer out there. This is just our views on our experiences and everything
Yeah.
and how we think of stuff. We're not trying to influence this
I
on
ain't saying-
anybody else, but
all of us agree to this. It's just based. Like,
it's
my opinion,
our
it's
stories and what
being-
we've seen, and if you choose not to believe it, that's on you. But
we're gonna give our take.
we're giving our take. This is what this is for. So,
But I don't know. It's just I feel like once you pass though, it's like you don't really have business on Earth anymore. You know, and it's just me. Like this ain't based off nothing. It's just what I think.
Well, I don't necessarily
feel
agree with
like.
that because you get lowered into the earth.
I mean, through burial or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but that's just your body. If you're talking about your spirit, though, that's
your
not.
soul is what.
Your soul isn't part of your body, I would give.
I mean, that's the whole point of like religion is like where your soul goes.
Well, I mean, that's just one thing we'll never know until we die.
Whether or not, I mean, I'm not saying you don't have your body in heaven or I don't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
I feel like it's your soul that leaves your body. Like I don't know if you ever seen a video of someone dying or. Some people say when they see someone die, like it's like you can literally see something.
I seen that with my
Uplift out
aunt's
of 'em.
dog before when I
Yeah.
was little. We watched him or her. Her name was Maggie. She was a golden retriever. We watched her basically die of old age and whatnot, and I swear, I seen her spirit lift from her body and just go straight to the ceiling.
That's one thing. Like you hear people from the military and stuff talk about it, and they say when you see somebody die, you tell the instant that they die. Like you can see it, like in their eyes or whatever. Like
Yeah.
if you're close, like if it's personal or something, like something close enough where you can tell, they say that you can really kind of see the moment when they're living and then when they die. Like it's something that's there that you can see. That's after they die, you can tell that they're like that's just not.
I'm pretty sure before you die, don't you get like that last little breath of air and then you just. I've heard some people say they like gasp like at the last second.
I don't
You just
know.
like.
Never seen somebody actually die, so.
I just been hearing wise, but yeah, I mean I don't know. Never seen anyone die. If
The
I
only
did,
thing I can compare it to is a Hollywood movie, and I would not compare
yeah, I
anything
want
to
to
a
compare
Hollywood
half
movie.
of my life experience to Hollywood.
Yeah. So take that as you will, but
Well, now that I think about it, I want to throw in one more story, and I know y'all talked about Bigfoot on the last episode, but
Oh, man.
this
we
is
talked about your story.
yeah this is like the scariest thing that's ever happened to me though.
Well, tell.
That I
Are you
think
gonna
about.
tell the story?
Yeah, I'll tell it from my
Okay.
perspective
Okay.
if you
Good.
want me
Because
to.
you were actually there and we weren't.
So, me, my older brother Zach, and my younger brother Davin and my sister Mia, we were outside, we were having a fire and whatnot, messing around, and we started being stupid, doing some Bigfoot knocks in quotations, and doing some howls and
Explain
stuff,
that,
messing
though,
around.
Bigfoot knocks.
Oh, well, we just grab a stick and you hit a tree.
Really hard.
Yeah, try
A
to
big stick.
make it loud. Yeah,
Not a little twig. A big log.
no little twigs, big logs. But yeah, we're just messing around out there, having a fire, messing around. And me and Zach, my older brother, we decide we're gonna go Bigfoot hunting. And it's probably not even an acre back towards with this little creek, the house. We didn't go very far. And my sister and my brother, they stay back. So me and Zach were walking through the woods. We're doing some howls. And as you go further back in the woods, it kind of goes up a hill. And at the top of the hill, there's a little pond up there. So me and Zach, we walk around. We kind of go to the top of the hill where the pond is, just so we can do some more yells, try to get it further out, I guess. And we stand there, we do some yells and stuff, some yelps, some whoop, whoop, you know.
Yeah, get the full effect.
And then we sit there for a minute, we listen, and then nothing. We don't hear nothing, so we're like, all right, I guess we'll just go back to the fire. And we get pretty much down the hill when we're starting our walk back. And then from right up there, right where we were standing on the top of that hill, we hear a loud, like, it was like a howl, but it was real deep, and you could almost feel it. And so I'm probably like I'm probably like 15, and my older brother Zach, he's probably like, what would he have been, like 19, something like that.
Yeah.
And we hear that, and then I start freaking out, I start crying. I'm trying to run back to the house, and he tackles me pretty much, brings me to the ground, and he says, shut up, shut up. And then I'm like freaking out. I'm like, I want to go back. And then he tells me, shut up, you're acting stupid or whatever. And then we sit there for a minute. He makes me stay there for a minute, and then he's like, all right, we're going to run back. So we just take off running back to the house. But that was as soon as I heard that, I knew, like, we messed up and we got to go. Because, you don't ever want to cry in front of your brother. You don't want to seem like a wimp. But I started instantly crying, and I was like, I just wanted to get out of there. And that's probably the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. I was I was messed up. I went straight inside and I never went out for the rest of the night.
It's just funny to me because Zach's not one to believe in Bigfoot or nothing. I mean, I ain't. I'm the same way. I don't really believe in.
I mean, I remember Zach telling me, he was like, "I'm not gonna say it's a Bigfoot, but I am gonna say I don't know what the hell that was." And Zach, he's one who knows a lot of animals, especially around the area.
Oh, yeah.
So for him to say that, and Zach, he doesn't fib or he doesn't lie, and he doesn't put on a fake face. He tells you what he thinks.
Yeah.
And that, hearing him say that, I was like, damn.
Yeah, I think
We went out the next night and we tried to recreate it.
in my
see if we
personal
could get
opinion,
anything,
yeah,
but-
I think. Well, I would say it's a Bigfoot, but I guess that's the only thing that I could think would even sound like that. I mean, I don't think a bear would sound, because it was a howl. It wasn't like a growl. It wasn't a roar or nothing. It was a howl, but you could feel it in you. It was real deep, and you could almost feel it.
Too bad you took off running. I wish you was not
No.
as scary where you could have turned around and got down and looked for something.
If it were to happen to me right now, I'd still fucking take off running.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I feel like I'd be like,
No.
yo, wait.
If I had a gun on me, I'd go
I mean,
up
but
to
it was weird because you like it. You could feel it like in your body. Like it felt like it was like a no, you know. I wouldn't say like a shockwave, but like you feel it like almost like a
Like a
a
bass,
vibration or like a bass. Yeah, you get a real good bass when you're at a concert and you kind of like feel it.
Or like how a race car goes by when you're standing near it.
Oh yeah.
It's so loud you can feel it in you, and that's what
Yeah.
it felt like. And it was
Rumbles you.
yeah, and it wasn't too far away. It was probably like 100 yards, 200 yards up that hill, and it scared me to death. That's I guess that's the scariest thing that's happened.
Remember that one time it was me, you, Zach, and Neil. We were all camping, and we heard that loud scream,
Oh, yeah.
which we later came to find out it was an owl.
Yeah, that was scary.
That scared the
Sound like
shit
a
out of
woman
me.
yelling like.
Yeah.
That's the thing with me. I don't get scared of noises in the wood. Like I usually can tell what it is. I mean, I didn't really know. What
I've
was
never
an
heard an owl scream.
Oh, they screech.
I've never heard that.
You know, we could talk about that.
We
That-
hear them all the time in my woods. Like,
We were
right
out
behind our
there
house.
in our front yard, and we saw that what we thought was a white bucket.
That was me.
Neil thought it was a white. We also the bucket, but
We was all playing football, right?
That white bucket did move.
I swear it was gone too. Like
It was.
it looked like a white
It was
5-gallon
sitting
bucket.
down there
It
in the
looked-
yard, and it wasn't.
Well, it was
when
in
we
the
got
woods.
done.
It was in the edge of the woods.
no.
Yeah,
It-
edge of the woods.
I swear we was all packing up for the night. Like, all right, we're done playing. We was all like walking in or something, or it was in between the players. I look over. I kid you not. It looked like a whole 5-gallon bucket just hovering across the freaking ground,
Yeah,
just moving fast as shit. I
yeah.
was like, what the hell? Because did I not point it out earlier
Yeah,
in
you
the,
said
Yes.
in the game? I was like,
It was
you're like,
sitting
what
right
is
because you
that?
there.
said, "What is that?" And we're like, "That's just a bucket." It's a
Yeah, we're
bucket.
like, that's just a white bucket.
And for some reason,
It's just
you
weird
pointed
that I pointed
out.
out, and then it was.
Yeah, and we were all like, "It just looks like a 5-gallon bucket. It's a bucket."
I thought it was a cat at first. I was
And
like,
it
that's
was-
a cat.
I mean, I guess it would have been around sundown because it was. I remember it was like darkish, like in between that
Yeah,
night
it was-
and daytime.
it was dusk.
Where it's dusk, yeah. That's
Because I
right
remember
word for
leaving
it.
that night. I was on my foiler. I didn't even have a car yet. And we walked out, and the bucket was sitting right where it was
If it could have been
before.
a bird person. The only time a bird could have been like that was an owl.
Because
it was
Fly low to the
circular.
ground.
And it
I
didn't make
saw
any
the
noise.
circular shape of it
Yeah,
moving.
I mean, I agree, but I was like, even then though, we
Yeah.
don't have any albino owls really around here.
And
No.
the
Any
fact
type
that
of whiteout.
you
I mean, if
would've-
we did, then it'd be super fucking rare.
and you would have seen it go from the ground up or something like that. You know, it
Yeah.
can't just go. I mean, if it was gliding, if we didn't see it before and we just saw white go across, you could say it was a gliding owl. But it didn't
Yeah.
make any noise.
Yeah.
And you said
Well,
it
owls
just
don't make
it just
noise.
went flying.
They
Yeah,
fly.
that's what I was saying. It could have been an owl, but
When owls start to fly, their wings are huge. They have a really wide
Yeah, but
wingspan, and
they
they make a
don't
lot of noise.
They don't.
in the way
I don't know
that
if
you
you ever
described
heard
it,
of
Whenever they start to fly off, yeah, they do.
Owls are like the quietest birds.
I've heard an owl back here. He went to fly to a different branch, and he almost broke the fucking branch he was on.
Well, they're big. But,
well, me and Neil, we called in those
we
barred
used to-
owls.
Yeah, we call
and,
in owls like
and they come.
a few
They
years ago.
go right past you.
They'd
You wouldn't be able
there'd
to
like
hear 'em.
4 of them flying back and forth on the post.
You don't hear them at all. You can just see them
You
go
can't hear
through
'em.
a couple. Like the only time you hear them when they're landing on a branch, when they scuffle on a branch or something. But either way, the way you describe it, the way it just kind of just floated across and didn't like, it wasn't moving like a bird. It wasn't flapping or going
Yeah,
up and
no.
down.
All you saw was the circular.
Yeah, if it's starting from the ground like that,
Shape of
it's
it.
not going to be that quick.
That was crazy. I remember that.
But the thing also is that it was there for a while.
It was there like the whole game.
Didn't
Yeah,
we?
we
Didn't
were
we see red eyes in the woods after that,
I don't know.
or was that a different time?
Or what about the thing that
Maybe a different
you
time.
said that you saw across the road that one time?
trying to think.
You thought it looked like a big old wolf or something?
That was
like
Chris.
Oh, that was Chris.
Leaving
Oh,
here.
he was leaving my
Yeah.
house. He was leaving my house and he was walking back up the road and he looked in the power line
The no trespassing field, the power
yeah.
line cut.
and he said he saw just something,
He said it looked like a werewolf.
yeah, stand up. It was like 10 feet tall and he booked it back to my house.
Which, if there is something like that, then maybe could be the result of the hell. But I don't
Oh,
really
honestly, yeah.
know. But I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't go that
Yeah.
far, but hey.
I'm just saying. That
It's
could
so
be
hard to
something.
believe other people's weird experiences.
Yeah, that I didn't like. I've always watched like Bigfoot stuff because I always thought it was really interesting. But I never, you always have that in the back of your mind. That's not real. And obviously with the shows like reality TV, it's obviously not real. But once that happened, that kind of changed everything. Like from that day on, I kind of really believed that there was Bigfoot.
I still don't believe in reality TV. They get so close every time and they slip and fall.
Oh, yeah,
and shit.
reality TV can go fuck itself.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that at all. Remember that time we were in Cooper Bridge cul-de-sac thing? We heard that weird noise coming from the drain.
I'm trying to remember.
We were shooting shotguns. No, we were blowing up paint cans.
Oh, I wasn't with y'all. That was you and Zach, I think.
Oh yeah, Slayton and Logan was there. That's right, you weren't there. Frick. It was so weird. It was coming out of the drain. The ground drain or whatever.
Storm drain.
Storm drain. There you go. And I couldn't tell you what the noise was. It was so bizarre. I've never heard anything like it.
Didn't sound like an animal or like nothing you can think of.
At first, I thought it was like a beaver building something down there. Then I got closer, and I seriously could not describe the sound.
That's weird. Like,
It was so weird.
did it kind of sound like mechanical or like something like an animal?
It was an animal. It had to have been an animal.
Was it a mechanical animal, though?
It could have been a mechanical animal.
Yeah,
That's the question.
That was really hard to say. A mechanical animal.
mechanical animal.
Said it though twice.
Twice as nice.
Hey, easy now.
There you go.
Alright, well, how about we get to another topic?
I guess UFOs.
Well,
Kinda
we've
my
already
next one.
given our
I mean,
piece
we've
on
gave-
UFOs, but if y'all have...
I don't
I
really
mean, if
have
y'all want to
anything.
give in your piece on UFOs,
Ian,
go
do you
ahead
have
and we
anything?
can probably get into it.
We ain't gotta go too
A little
deep
bit
into
more.
it. But
No.
I mean, I believe in all that stuff.
I really just want to know your stance on aliens. Like,
Did y'all talk about Navy releasing all the videos and stuff yesterday? How they released the videos of the
Oh, yeah.
UFOs and
the
stuff?
Pentagon releasing it?
Yeah.
All the Navy
Yeah, we talked a
ships.
little bit about that.
That's the freakiest thing for me.
It's just,
It's
all this
something like
stuff is
that.
so... It's just, I don't know, to me, like, the way they time these things are released, with the way
Around.
the politics are going nowadays in our country, it's like, they're trying to take our mind off something bigger.
You don't know what to believe anymore.
I really
You can't-
don't.
Can't really trust news
You
anymore.
don't
or nothing.
fucking know what to believe unless you see it for yourself.
You can't trust any news media.
No.
I don't trust any of them, whether they're for a specific political party or not. I don't care.
The only
I
thing
believe
I
in what-
trust
I
is
believe
some of
what
the
I
YouTube
see, you know?
people. I trust some of the conservative YouTube people that are actually like, here's the facts, here's what happened, here's
Alex
what did it.
Jones.
Well, still, I just trust facts. I believe in facts.
Yeah.
What do you think about kind of like a Illuminati type thing? You believe in that? Like a group of people who run kind of everything around the world, or
Not
like just
really.
here in the United States, maybe, or something like that.
Not really. Well,
I think to a certain extent.
I haven't really looked into it as much as probably a lot of people, but I don't know.
There's a lot of weird stuff, like a lot of weird connections and stuff, but also, rich people are kind of crazy too because they got nobody like them but other rich people.
Yeah.
So they.
There's a lot of billionaires that, I don't know if you ever watch any conspiracy stuff. I don't know why they call it conspiracy. Some of this shit could be real. We never know, but
Well, I guess because it's not proven, so it's
it's always, though, it's like they find the smallest details to attach, and then people are like, oh, well, that might be attached to that. And it could be something so small, and then they just build up a lot of small shit to connect to it. And it just seems like a reasonable...
by the end of it, you got so many little things stacked up and kind of make people believe in it.
But the thing with the elites, like elite talk and Illuminati, I feel like they can persuade everything. Billionaires.
I mean, they own everything for the most. I mean, they own and
I don't know what the percentage, but the amount of the economy that they influence, like the richest, top 10 richest, is insane compared to us.
I mean, there's even a lot of people who aren't they don't you don't know your own wealth. Like I feel like there's a lot of princes, like Saudi princes and stuff like that. Like their wealth isn't known because of all that oil money and they have
That
so
and
much
gold,
money.
dude. Oh my gosh.
Like they gotta have a whole lot of money, but
That when
they're
you
not
get
gonna be
that,
on the top 10 richest list because nobody knows how much money.
when you get all that money and you don't have the fame behind it, you get bored with it.
That's why I seen somebody.
So what do you do with it?
I heard somebody talking about it like rich, like when you know you're with somebody really rich is like when they're giving you like he said he was talking to, I forget where I saw that at, but I heard somebody talking about how they met somebody like really really rich, but like nobody really knows who they are, but like they're like handing out like crazy amounts of money and stuff like as like a welcome gift and stuff. And he's like, when you're starting to get things like that, like to give you a Rolls Royce for a gift, for like a welcome gift or something like that, that's how you know like these people are crazy.
You think about there's a Middle East country where like half the people there are rich. It's pretty much a rich ass country. Like, I think it's the
From oil
Arab
money?
Emirate.
Like Dubai,
What's
and all
it?
that stuff.
Arab
like
Emirates, or probably
the
like
Emirates or
Dubai,
whatever.
but that's like
Maybe Dubai too.
yeah, that's in,
Dubai's a really rich.
that's a
country.
really rich city.
Or city,
Yeah.
not country.
But I think it's the Arab Emirates. or-
United
I
Arab
think-
Emirates.
Yeah, ain't that a country?
Yeah, that's
For
where
sure.
I think that's
Yeah,
Dubai's in there.
Emirates. Yeah.
But like everyone there has like Lamborghinis and like they're really rich, and I don't know if it's just certain people get in or how that all works.
I mean, that's just like Dubai. You get all these rich people into this one fancy ass place, and you have, like an Indian get together party or whatever.
Arab get together.
Yeah, but that's
Arab,
kind of
that's
weird.
what I
But
meant,
you
not
hear
Indian.
things like Jeffrey Epstein's island, where it's so many of these rich, crazy
well,
rich
that was a
people
real
and
thing,
stuff.
though.
That's what I'm saying.
Shit.
But you got to think about like if that's happening,
And the whole
Something like
suicide
that.
thing with him, I think,
Yeah.
is all like
that's got to be
way
set
too
up.
good to be true.
Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself.
There's no
Himself.
way. There ain't no way.
I mean, but just the amount of information that would have got out if he would have went to trial. You got to
Yes.
think about that. How many people would have gone under?
Which is funny though. You think about. I don't know if y'all ever looked into like the Clintons, like how much people they knew that end up just dying before dirt came. There's like a whole list of like people that they were connected to that end up dying,
Just like
and it's like unresolved how they like. I think
Yeah.
Epstein was on that list too. The people that knew the Clintons knew shit about them. That could potentially ruin.
Okay, well, if we die after this podcast, then
well,
No,
we're not
people talk about it all the
uncovering. We're not uncovering
I'm
anything
just
crazy.
kidding.
They can
We're
come
just
to
talking
my
about other
doorstep.
people.
I don't care.
But I mean, you even see things
Give
like
them some sweet tea.
like
Give 'em a good Southern welcome.
Men in Black. When you hear people like get like crazy UFO sightings, and then these people will just appear at their door and they're talking to say you don't tell nobody about this, or else you and your family's gonna get hurt.
yeah.
Like things like that. You got to think.
I feel like
be,
there's definitely, like, if you got money, you can do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, once you reach the billions, like, where you're, like, the top 1%, like, the 0.1% of
You're kind of
the
just
country,
untouchable.
and you're pretty much running, what, like, 95% of our economy alone? Like,
Yeah.
not alone, but the top 0.1%. Dude, it's crazy how much they put into our economy.
Someone that
It's
scares
crazy.
me is Bill Gates. Kind of scares me because he's
Yeah, I
buying.
don't-
He's buying so much land right now, just in the United States. Like he's trying to get as much land as he possibly can.
It's crazy.
And it's kind of going to become a monopoly like that, where he's gonna
Oh, yeah.
he's gonna own so much of the land that it's gonna. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do about it, but he has.
Well,
a
there are
whole lot of
laws
land.
up against what he's doing.
And I'm
If-
sure
if
he'll
he
go
were
to
to-
trial soon because
Yeah.
I mean I know somebody, or I don't know them, but I'm watching a farmer, and he's up in Illinois, and he said there's people like around the county, even in his little county, that their land has been bought by people like through him, I guess you say, but like that's just kind
It's
of
just
like a
sad.
crazy thing of that.
I don't like the
that can
idea of
happen.
our. It's just weird. Like, you think about if someone gets enough land like that, they could do whatever they like. If you can control a food supply in a country, you can pretty much take over a country
Well, that's
just on that alone.
kind of like an experience we've had here is down there at Linear Speedway. When it first closed down, after it had, back when my dad used to race there and I used to go with him and all the time, it closed down, and then Tony Stewart was going to try and buy it. He's going to try and buy it and fix it up, probably make it into a dirt track because of, what he does. And
Mhm.
once they heard that Tony Stewart was wanting to buy it, they had it on the market for like $2 million. Chump change for Tony Stewart. That's easy.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they heard that Tony Stewart was trying to buy it, they upped it to like $7 or $8 million. And he was like, "No, not even close.
Yeah.
I'm not paying for that shit." And I feel like that kind of ties into
Just
to
having
a good. That makes a good point of what we're talking about right now with Bill Gates buying the land and
he jacked the price if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Up there to where it's pretty much normal people aren't gonna be able to buy that, and that's so
Yep.
weird with me when you hear about these cults, and you're like, how can these people be so easily like brainwashed? How can they not see that this is happening? And it's because they do it over time, and you have it so where you're only hearing what they want you to hear,
Yeah.
and you're just confined to this area. And even like that, what it was at Heaven's Gate, where you were free to leave, or they say you're free to leave, but nobody left because you're free to leave, and it's just like you don't think that you're stuck there. You don't try to leave because you're free to leave, and then it's just
Where was
weird
this?
things like that. The Heaven's Gate thing, where they all thought the aliens were gonna come and
Was that like a
to the
cult
mothership.
thing? Whose
Yeah.
cult was that?
I don't remember. It was old people.
Oh.
I think that may have been the one where they all.
Drink the Kool-Aid?
Yeah, something
Charles
like that.
Manson? Or...
Yeah, that
was
was
one of
that was
those.
fucking insane. I remember reading that in history class, and that was insane.
I watched the documentary on it. That's kind
Yeah,
of crazy.
yeah, we all watched the documentary on it and everything, and that. I mean, that's
Drink
just,
this Kool-Aid and then everyone's
how you
dead.
can convince this many people to drink this Kool-Aid. Oh my god!
But then you
I
think
can't
about
And it happens. All this stuff happens with fear. If you think about it, you get someone to start believing in a fear or something,
even- Yeah,
or this might happen.
and you get them so
You gotta do this so this
it's
don't
so
happen.
it's so easy to manipulate someone else's mind if you get more people and more people. And
Think
more
about
people
even
board
on
with it.
social media. You get someone sends you a text or a freaking Snapchat, like I was talking about the other night. God has blessed you to enact this. Screenshot
yeah.
and share with 10 of your friends, and everyone's like, "Oh, I gotta do this."
and that's such
I
like
need-
a
Or it could say anything.
Oh,
if you
yeah,
want
yeah,
good luck for
yeah.
the next 3 hours.
Follow this account and you'll have good luck for the next 10 years.
But there's
Yeah.
people out there that really think if I don't do this, I might have bad luck.
Yeah. Or like this post, and you'll wake up with money tomorrow.
I heard them like, share this with 10 people if you love Jesus, and you're like,
Yeah,
well,
and then you're like,
if
well,
I don't
what
do
fun-
this, then am I saying I don't love Jesus? It's
Yeah.
like it's just like that
No,
fear thing is
but
stupid,
But it ain't though. No
and
one
people
can-
really believe those things, and then you
Yeah.
think in the communist countries, how do they get that bad? And it's just they get them with fear. That's all
Yep.
they believe. They're
well,
just so scared
dependence,
into it.
fear. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that.
and then you just get that's when it comes in like all of that censoring stuff.
But communism all boils down to no freedom. You don't have the freedom to even learn.
Well, that's because you're relying on the government.
Yeah, and they tell you
Government's
what to learn,
giving you
tell what
everything.
to- how to live,
Yeah.
Yeah.
tell you what you're gonna be in life,
Yep.
what job you're gonna get.
Yep.
That would suck.
Yeah.
That's basically like the Hunger Games or the Divergent series.
Imagine if that happened in the U.S. Though. It would not just happen overnight though. Like there'd be militias everywhere. It'd be
wars.
like a Hunger Game.
It would be another
Yeah.
civil war, pretty much.
Not a
No, it'd be like-
not if a
Well, against
communist
the
country
government,
tried to. Yeah, I mean if
A-
China
a
somehow bought
revolution.
the U.S.
Yeah.
No,
It'd be like the fucking purge going
we'd
on.
all fight till before we
Yeah.
became communists or socialists or anything.
I wouldn't live in that kind of world.
No way.
I wouldn't bring anything into that kind
That's
of
what's
world.
scary about even up there, Canada, our neighboring country. They're getting like they're at
They're
the
getting beat
border.
to fucking stay
That's
in
what
their
I'm
own
saying.
homes.
They're at the border holding American flags, saying and signs that say "Help, help!" Like
Oh, even
because it's all just
remember when was Hong Kong even
Yeah.
over in China how they
last year, 2 years ago.
were waving American flags. They're like, we need help. We can't, but we can't do nothing in China.
No,
They're way too big.
Oh yeah,
that
no.
would be devastating if we had
That's
to go
asking
to
for a
war
nuke.
with someone that big.
That's asking for a nuclear
Yeah, that's
war.
nuclear war, pretty much.
If we set foot in there, they.
China and Russia. Yeah.
This thing now, it's gone. Technology and war.
Well,
has gone too
nowadays
far,
every country can make a nuclear bomb.
for the most part, yeah.
Even the ones that are somewhat poor, they. If any other country aids them, which happens a lot, they're
Alliances
like, here,
throughout
we're
everything.
going to help you out. Get these bombs.
Well, Germany can't because of the deal that America.
Well, they
But
say they
they're-
can't, but they're gonna
You
build
know
them.
they're
Oh,
making them
yeah.
no matter what. There ain't no way they ain't.
I mean, the only thing that's monitoring that is the United Nations,
Yeah, but
which is majority of
It's funny you
European,
say
that's all
Germany,
European
yeah.
countries, or
Yeah.
pretty much.
Germany
majority
is
like
European.
Germany hates America so much. Like, they hate Americans.
Why wouldn't it? Or why? Yeah, why wouldn't they? They lost to 2 world wars.
Yeah, it's just funny that they're so salty. Like, my buddy in the National Guard, they always go in the field trainings or whatever. They'll get shipped out. He was shipped out to Germany.
He was in Germany, yeah.
couple months, I think.
Yeah.
So they still do all the same stuff the Army does. They still got to train, go to the field, get all their little trainings and each, whatever, And he said they were outside of their Army base. Like, you can go out, go visit Germany, visit whatever, drink, whatever you want to do outside the little base. But he said, like, while he was out there, there's a lot of Germans. Like if they seen the Americans, they hate you. They won't hesitate to be like, "Fuck you," you know.
Yeah.
He said it's crazy, and they hate it because like every sign. And I understand their point, because all the shit's written in English outside that base and that towns. All their shit's written in English, like half of it. He said, "Because of you motherfuckers, we got." I don't know what their accent is, but they're like.
Pretty sure that was like Irish. Nine.
They're just
Yeah.
pissed that something's in English. I'm like, God.
But I mean, like after the wars though, they were such a poor country because of all the everything that they had to pay off so many debts and stuff. And you got to think,
well, they weren't going to pay.
They're
it.
going to blame that on whoever beat them in that war
Yeah.
for being poor like that, and they did get a lot of they had to pay off a lot of war debts.
They're still
too.
paying. You
Yeah.
can't pay it all.
That's a lot of so.
The world debt in general, like too many countries owe each other in the trillions now.
Well,
It can
World
never
War
be paid
II
off.
was the most. It had the highest
Expensive?
toll of deaths
Oh.
in any kind of battle history or war history.
Mm-hmm.
The most deaths
D-Day.
from any country that was
Deadliest
involved.
battle was D-Day. I guess crazy. Like
I mean, it was
so many countries involved,
insane.
too.
And if
From that and from Japan attacking our Pearl Harbor and all that.
I mean, it's
And then
just insane.
two
And
bombs
then
we dropped
nuclear
on.
bombs and it's crazy.
Because at first it was World War One that had the highest death toll, and then World War Two
And that's how
almost tripled it.
Hitler became in power because they were at such a weak country at that point, and
Yep.
he had so many promises about.
Yep.
People
Financial
get so
gain.
weird when you talk about Hitler, and I don't understand it. That man was.
I mean, he was
People
a
still
smart
think
guy.
he's
He was a
alive.
good guy.
He was an evil
Or
genius.
was alive.
Yeah, he was a very, very smart guy.
Smart as hell.
He knew how to
Like,
talk.
When you talk about strategy, and that man could have almost taken over the world, like at least the whole
He almost did.
European side.
He
you know?
almost did.
I mean, and they were a poor country at the time, and you'd think that guy. I mean, he's a very, very smart guy.
Between him, Stalin.
Did you see the pictures
same
of the enormous tank that they built on the railroad tracks?
No.
Like, you seen that shit in Call of Duty? World War II, that huge tank built on the train tracks?
Oh, that really, really big thing? Yeah.
That was based off the real life version that Germany actually made, but it didn't. It was so.
Like, heavy that they couldn't move it?
No, it was so heinous.
It was like a war crime, pretty much.
Basically a war crime.
They
like,
wouldn't
they
even
could
do it?
not. Like,
Well, they would have probably, that probably would have even got worse with more bombs and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Like, shit would have got real
Yeah.
quick.
If it didn't end what it did, it would probably been
I wonder
big
if I can look
nuclear.
it up.
Think of World War now. Like if the Third World War were to happen, like there wouldn't be.
It'd be a
nothing
fallout.
but bombs.
It'd be a fallout.
Bombs and drone strikes, and
Maybe a few foot fights, like on foot.
I mean,
I just don't
that's
see
if you're trying to take
Everything's
ground.
with planes
It'd
nowadays.
be a nuclear war.
It'd be
a
drone,
fallout.
drone strike after drone strike after nuclear.
They're like, I'm not going to waste troops when I could just
You know
bomb
what it
your
come
ass.
down to though? Who can hack whose system first?
Yeah.
Who
I
can
guess
just-
so.
We
All
already
there.
know. We already know who's done that.
China
Russia.
Russia.
or China probably. I feel like any of them could shoot
Yeah.
our satellites down or any. I mean, it'd be fought in space.
The scariest thing though is EMP strike. If you take down all their electronics.
Yeah, I mean you're
I
screwed.
mean, yeah. Even civilians in general, like you have no idea what's happening outside of.
I would just
outside
hope
of
I'm
your
on
town.
the ISS, the International Space Station.
Yeah.
It'd be the safest place. Like, yo, our freaking countries are.
Unless they start beefing up there, and then they got
Nah,
they have
there
to
ain't no way.
punching on the ISS.
They probably like, well, we're gonna survive
Yeah,
this.
that tank is huge.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's crazy, just in general, to think what could have happened. And even after that, the Cold War, space
Millions
race,
of dollars.
Yeah, with the space race and Cold War. all
What do you
that
think about
stuff
that?
was-
A lot of people think moon landing's fake. What do you think about that?
I think it was real. I think it was real.
Yeah. I mean, there is a lot of, weird little, I guess, as Neil said, you get a couple little things that connect that make people think, I mean, and it's easy to believe in those things, because they make them sound really realistic and stuff.
Once you get to someone's emotions, you can almost make them believe anything.
Yeah. I
Or
guess
you get someone thinking, yeah.
that's, and that's also things that Hitler did and people like that.
And people think that Hitler's death wasn't his death. They think that he still lived on
I
past
don't know.
that.
I think he could.
Some people think he's still living today.
No, ain't no way he's living today. He would have been
No,
dead
he's
by now.
too old.
but they don't think that he died in
They
1940.
think he fled to like Venezuela.
I wouldn't be
whatever.
surprised if he didn't.
If he did it, I mean, he had the means to do it.
I mean, because they didn't show his body after he died and anything. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. You think somebody like that, I don't think they would kill themselves that way. How crazy he was.
might. I mean,
I mean, you don't know anything. I
If
mean,
you've done the things that man has done,
but he didn't see it as wrong, though.
you almost wiped out an entire population.
Race of people, too.
yeah.
Yeah. And
the genocide.
if you realize that, and you realize there's people coming to capture you right now,
We knew it the whole time they were at war, but yeah, I guess so.
you're
Once they lost,
you're gonna opt the easy way out, and that's
yeah.
biting your own bullet.
That's crazy, though. Someone like you're.
That's like have you ever seen Captain America?
Uh,
Where they're getting captured, and then they say Hell Hydra, and then they take the capsule.
the capsules,
and they
kill
eat it, and they die.
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna leak any information, or
Yeah.
they're not gonna go through all the torture. Like I'm gonna die anyways. Might as well just fucking kill myself. So.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Just even the amount of ground that they gained in the amount of time the war was going on.
Yeah.
That was a powerhouse of a military right there.
Yep. And it was all secret.
And it's crazy how much it would have changed if they would have won the war.
You think about back in those times, like where you're relying on telegraphs to tell you shit.
Yeah.
Like if shit was happening, who knows how many months.
You
in
couldn't just
advance.
flip on a
Like
TV.
what was it called? The Zimmerman Note, when they were trying to get Mexico to attack the U.S.
Yeah.
and they intercepted it. The U.S. intercepted it, and they were like, Mexico, if you do this, that could have been a crazy turn in the war if we had to fight on our own soil against Mexico.
Oh, we've never had a battle on our, other than the.
Civil War and the
Revolution.
Revolution.
Civil War and the Pearl Harbor and that wasn't even
That
a
wasn't-
battle. That was just a bombing. But
Yeah.
That was still in Pearl Harbor, though.
That
it wasn't like
well, I mean,
on
yeah.
our
On
soil.
it wasn't
We
mainland,
owned it, but-
mainland USA.
yeah.
It wasn't on our mainland.
Yeah, it was just
That's crazy, though.
Yeah.
I think.
thank God though.
When you think of like the Israel and
Palestine thing. going on right now.
Palestine throwing missiles at each other, and that's a war that's been going on for
It's crazy how much people
Centuries.
support the Palestine.
Yeah.
That shit blows my mind.
yeah.
They got missile shooting in
We've
the middle of the
never
street.
support and we've never supported terrorism or nothing like that.
That whole free Palestine movement.
And now the whole media can turn it, and this generation's fucked. Like we're fucked up in the head, bad. Like
Yeah.
I don't even think people know the history of anything anymore.
I'm not going to say much on it. I'm not going to say much on it because I haven't done too much research into that war that's going on.
Oh,
there.
you need to go look at that history of everything. Like how many times they've tried to help the Palestinians and
They just
come
want
to a conclusion. They're like, no,
they
want
want
y'all
the
dead.
whole thing. They want everything.
We
Well,
want all the land. We're
if-
gonna kill y'all.
if
They
you-
literally talk like that.
If you go to church, what's one of the first things not one of the first things, but what's one of the main things you hear about? David versus Goliath.
Yeah.
David being an Israeli worker, and Goliath being a Palestinian, whatever the fuck, war criminal, whatever, 7 foot tall,
Jacked.
beast of a man. And David's like, I'll take him out. And he took him out.
But the thing is, though, you see videos about that Palestine shooting, like all these missiles from in the streets of their people in between apartments buildings. So,
like-
because if Israeli goes to try to take out those missile launchers, they're gonna have to kill
all of them.
civilians, and
Yeah.
that's why they have them there. Because they know that
But they don't
Israel
care
isn't
about their
gonna
own people,
kill the
though.
civilians. That's what you're saying, though.
Countries like that, they will
Palestine's
put their own people out there.
using their people for cover for their missiles, so
And
that
that's
they
fucked
won't.
up.
Yeah, that's like one of those things.
And that's one of those things where if
That's a
Israel goes after
War crime
them,
itself,
then
really.
Palestine's gonna be like, you killed my civilians,
Yeah,
and then you took down my missile
they're
launchers.
hiding behind the civilians.
Now it's gonna be a nuclear war,
And then
and I'm killing your civilians now as well. Which I mean, they've already.
I mean,
had,
that fight's
but-
been going
I
on.
mean,
since
Israel's way
forever.
better set than Palestine.
Well,
I mean, they got the backing. for a
America
lot
is
of
gonna back Israel,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and we should.
it. And our alliances will back us.
and people are gonna fucking hate it, and I don't understand why.
It's just it blows my mind though how much
mean-
people really do not know our history with anything. Now.
Well, because they're just hearing what they hear online and on the media, and even with that stuff, it's all designed to make you hear what you like.
appeal
So
to your
you're only
emotion,
hearing
so you
what
don't-
what you liked, and so it's all based off of things that you've liked before. So it's
Like
only
think about it. You,
that little
you see a news
circle.
article that you don't live there, you don't know nothing about what you weren't there, but like a news article could say, well, he done this, therefore he was justified to do that, and you would never, you don't even care. You don't look past it. You're like, oh, well, that happened.
Yeah.
when everyone at that spot or that town could be like, whoa, they just spun this completely wrong. What the hell's going on, you know?
Yeah.
That can happen. We don't, there's not, I don't know, I can't even talk. I can't believe anything now,
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless I'm saying it.
it's insane.
It's
But-
just sad.
This podcast is now reaching an hour and 15 minutes, so
I mean, we can go into our last thing that we want to talk about, though. Goals. What we want
Mackenzie
to
ain't
do.
really talked at all, so
Yeah.
we need her to talk a little bit.
I purposefully try not to look into anything about other countries, and 'cause thinking about the endless possibilities is devastating and terrifying for me. So I try not to keep up with current news, and this was really just like a very dude conversation, so I was just kind of listening.
Yeah, but I would say it's important to know, like,
It's important to know what's happening right now. Yeah.
it's
Oh,
definitely.
for sure. And it makes me feel ignorant, and it makes me feel like less of a person to not know what's going on in the world that I live in. But if it makes me feel better in my day-to-day life, then that's what I'm going to do.
I'm sure. Yeah,
and
I'm
I
sure
can,
you're a
I
lot
can
happier
stand behind that. Yeah.
without that because you don't got all that stress and everything that's happening. It's just
Oh, I don't stress.
they're
it.
only
It's just-
but I mean the immediate they're only talking about things that are bad. They're not going to talk about good stuff.
Yeah.
So you know it's just
there ain't
constant
been a good thing on the
putting you
news
down.
in
Yeah.
forever.
But
And
good
there
things
probably
happen
won't
every
ever
day.
be again until
You go back and look at clips from 2010, 2008, 2006 of how all the news was pretty much the same. It's crazy how much has changed in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's like people were choosing sides, people were.
Yeah.
And it's setting us up to be divided forever till something happens.
Yep. They're egging mainstream media is keeping this going tenfold to. Actually, never mind. I'm not even gonna get into that because it's just not worth it.
Kind of makes you just want to go off the grid, live in the
I'm-
woods.
Yeah,
and
I'm
just worry
not
about-
even gonna go into that detrimental
Yeah.
territory, so I'm just gonna leave that there.
Oh, if y'all want to go into another topic, I got a good one.
All right.
It's up to
shoot.
y'all, though.
As long
I
as
mean-
it's a quicker one, because I mean we are on.
I mean, I can keep
Hour
going for a
40.
while. Actually, I'm enjoying it. Ain't bad, Dan. Dalton.
Well, I mean, I don't know of a lot of people that would listen to an hour and 20-minute
podcasts are-
podcast.
Longer. I mean, it's what I mean. I normally listen to about an hour because I'll get on Minecraft and go
Exactly.
strip
I mean,
mine.
an hour and I'd say 20 minutes is a good podcast,
Mm-hmm.
if you ask me.
But
And
I mean,
feel
you got
like
Joe
anything
Rogan,
else
most
we've got to
popular
say, we can save it for our next podcast and write it down.
That's a good point. So I guess you want to
Alright,
talk
well, we
about
can edit
the
on our-
goals?
No,
quick for-
save it for the next one.
Save it for the next one.
Well, that's a good closer, I think.
What?
Just asking everyone where they see
I mean, 'cause-
themselves. And
You got different guests. You could do that with every guest, or
Okay. Well,
that could be a thing that we do. Ask
we
every
can all
guest.
talk about it since I didn't talk about it last.
well, Grant,
podcast.
we'll start with you. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years?
I'll make it 10 years.
10
years.
years. Where do you see
10
yourself
years.
in 10 years?
Well, I'm
Where do you want to be?
17 now, so hopefully by then
So 27.
I'll have a stable job.
No.
What I'm wanting is welding. I really enjoy welding right now. In high school we have a course for it, so I'm doing that, and I like it a lot. And maybe a wife, maybe a kid by then. Seems kind of crazy thinking
That's a
about
good
it now,
goal.
but
I mean, that's a good goal. That's 10 years.
I would like that. You know, I've always wanted a family since I was young. But who knows what time will bring? Hopefully welding. That's really what I want to do. So that's
Well.
pretty much where I see myself.
Keep your head on it.
Yeah.
Neil, what about you?
10 years. I
Be
don't know.
31.
I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to work a normal job.
No.
I want to be able to take a vacation whenever I want. Explore the world a little bit. Definitely want to go to Europe.
Me and you definitely
Go
have
to
the same
Rome.
views on things.
Maybe travel to Canada through their countryside and stuff and see all the mountains.
Yeah. What about you?
10 years from now, I will be 31.
Oh
So,
my God, we will be 31.
I'm hoping I'll have a few kids, a happy marriage, and I hope by that time I will be working towards, if not already be my own boss.
I agree
That's a
with
good
that.
one.
No.
Self-employed or running something.
When do you think about 10 years, though?
Well, my 10 years is basically going to be hers because it's going to be with her. So,
Aww.
but I'm going to work towards the firefighter thing. And if that's what I retire doing, I don't think I would be opposed to that. But I am definitely wanting to start my own thing and have my own business and whatnot, and go on from there and have a nice family, and not be worried about if the gas goes up to $4. I'm not going to freak out. Just pay it and keep going on, no matter who the president is.
Yeah. And also to add on to mine, I want some land and a nice house on some acres. You know?
Oh yeah.
Some acreage.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not like
Land
in the
for
middle of
sure.
town.
Farmhouse with acreage.
It's a dream.
So what do you think? That's about it for the day.
I think that'll wrap it up for the night for
And we'll
our
have a very nice happy note to end it on.
Yeah.
second ever podcast, the White Boys Official.
Heck yeah.
So we're gonna
Pretty
sign
good.
off on this episode, and we'll catch you on next week's.
On the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side, next week's episode. Thanks for joining.
That's a wrap, folks.